the most important thing to do is actually just make sure that it's in alignment with your business and your values.
Kirrily Graham. Kirrily, welcome to the program.
Thank you so much, Colin.
Now, you're with Dovetail Social Enterprises. Tell us a little bit about what you do.
Yeah, so as a social enterprise, what we do is we work with small to medium-sized businesses to create really great charity partnerships. And as a social enterprise, we reinvest back into the sector, the charity sector, by providing this service for them at no charge. So we have a range of really amazing charities that we work with to create those business partnerships to help them, hit their fundraising targets and be the change in the world that they're really out to achieve.
Now, what's the difference between a not-for-profit and a social enterprise?
So a not-for-profit, it's actually a funny word. I actually don't like to use it, to be honest. It's because I think it sort of doesn't really paint a picture of what they do. They're actually out to make as much profit as possible. And that's to use that profit, in the social cause that they're really, passionate about. So it just means that the profits aren't actually given out to shareholders. It's actually going back into the community. And a social enterprise is sort of sits in between regular business and the charity sector. So there are lots of different legal structures and business models that you can have as a social enterprise. But we do have this kind of criteria of having at least 50% of your profits going back into social causes. But that can be achieved through, how you might engage the community. You might work in employing disabled people or marginalised people, or you might actually provide a product or service, into those different areas. Or it could just be profit share as well. So lots of different ways you can do it.
Yeah, fantastic. Fantastic. Now, the reason we've got you in today is because of what you do, about how you connect businesses with those charities. So have you got any examples about how business can work with charities to do good in the world? Because I know there's a lot of business people out there who want to do good in the world, but they're just not sure how to do that. So
yeah, and look, I actually think there are a lot of businesses that already do good. They do actually, donate cash or services to charities already. They do actually support with pro bono services, giving their skill set to help charities. So that actually happens quite a lot already, and particularly in the small to medium-sized business sector as well. But it's generally not very strategic, and it's not set up in a formal partnership. So what we do is we actually offer a service that can make that more strategic, and also make sure that it brings back a really positive impact in their business, as well as the impact that they're making with the charity. So how you could use a partnership or a charity partnership to really leverage your business, whether it might be internally or externally, so that you're actually generating more business, getting more customers, having greater customer loyalty, or it could be something as simple as engaging your staff.
And can you give us an example of how you do that?
Yeah, so when we actually do a strategic social impacts like planning strategy with the businesses as they come on, we actually look at what it is in their business that they would like to really impact. So it could be looking at what are their current pain points. I know for some businesses now, they're finding it really challenging to find great staff. It's really hard to recruit people at the moment. So that may be one of the areas that we focus on. And another one that I worked with a lady last week. She's a naturopath. She's new into the state of Victoria. She's just relocated, and she has to build a whole new client base. So through the 90-minute strategy session, what we did was look at what are all the different ways we could actually leverage the charity partnership to generate leads and new customers for her business. And we came up with about half a dozen different ways that we could do that through things that she's already either doing in her business, or things that were pretty easy for her to implement so that she could actually start to, really grow exposure out in the marketplace and generate some partnerships with other providers to actually get more customers in for her business.
Yeah, great. So she's able to give back to a charity and get a benefit for the business at the same time.
Yes, that's right. Yeah.
Yeah, fantastic. I mean, I used to own a franchise, a Zambrero franchise. And they've got a big program, the Plate for Plate program, where you buy a meal at Zambrero's, you give a meal in the third world. And that was a huge part. That was integral or integrated. That was a big part of the brand.
Yes.
And that's what made us stand out and grow so quickly. And now you walk into the store, there's a big counter on the wall that says, this is how many meals we've given away. So you get that warm and fuzzy when you go in there and buy money, as opposed to going to KFC down the road.
Absolutely. And we know that consumers are very savvy in this area now. And if they're actually faced with a choice between two products or two services or providers, they will actually pay more for a product with an organisation or business that actually gives something back. So there's lots of data out there that actually demonstrates that they're going to choose you over, another organisation if you give back, because that's what a lot of consumers are looking for now, particularly the younger generations. It can increase your customer loyalty by up to 20%. You can get increase in sales between 10 and 15%. So it's all about how do you actually bring that communication piece into your marketing so that your customers actually know what it is that you do. So it comes from a level of being, values-based, and that they align with that. And so that they will choose your business over another if the values are aligning for them.
Yeah, fantastic. I mean, that's part of, like, when you talk about the benefits that come out of it, and there's a list of benefits there. But I found that it helped my customers tell other customers about what we did. Even way back, I was working for a circus, a little not-for-profit circus, and we'd partner with businesses the same thing, and they would be able to tell their customers about us and their relationship with us, and it was like giving the customer bragging rights. Oh, have you seen my new, I'm just looking at the table in the background there at you. Oh, have you seen my table? And then I can tell the story behind that table rather than just having, oh, it's just a table I bought down the road. That's a boring story. Yeah. I want an interesting story.
Absolutely. And I think because we have, such a great attitude in Australia, and I think we really do love to share those things. So it is a real talking point, and like you said, a bit of bragging rights. And I think this has been one of the challenges that a lot of people have experienced in the past when they have interacted with charities, because we also love amazing grassroots charities. We love to kind of support the little guys. But one of the challenges that those charities have is that they're really time poor. They've got really limited resources in regards to the time, their money, and the expertise within the organisation. And so they don't also always have the time to kind of give that feedback and give you those reports back on, the good that your donor dollar is giving. And so that makes it really challenging for businesses to then communicate that out to their databases, their customers, or internally to their staff. So that's why setting it up as a social enterprise I thought was really important, because we really want to make sure we support the charities in getting those good news stories out there so that people can share that and really, expand their brand, both as the charity and as the business. And it's just, we love to see those and share those stories.
Yeah. And talking about sharing, I have to ask one very important question that's been on the back of my mind for a very long time. Where do I get the novelty size checks?
That's a really good question.
That's one thing. If I'm going to give charity money, it's going to be on a giant check.
Yeah,
nobody uses checks anymore, but I want the.
But they look good, don't they?
They look great.
Yeah. So any good quality printer out there, I'm sure, would be happy to put the name in the comments below to say that they can do that.
So when you want to get started working with a charity and you want to have that win-win, and it doesn't have to, when you say a win-win with a charity, you don't have to feel guilt-ridden about benefiting from the relationship. I mean, how do you overcome that?
Well, I think the most important thing to do is actually just make sure that it's in alignment with your business and your values. So it's really great if you've got a business that actually has a team and a team of staff to engage with them as well, and have them be a part of that process, and choosing a cause that you're passionate about. Most charities love getting businesses onto support. They just don't have the capacity to sort of manage the relationships. So, it's a really good thing if you can actually find that alignment and you can support them in the projects that they do, but you can also, you'll be sharing their story, sharing their brand out to your customers. That is a win-win. And I think that most charities do really appreciate that. One of the challenges that they do have with having little resources, though, is the ability to support businesses in doing that. So just be really mindful of any requests that you do. You can imagine if they've got maybe a team of 1 or less than 2 full-time equivalent staff, they wouldn't have a lot of time to do a lot of custom support for each business. So just be really mindful of what you ask for in regards to support for any fundraising or initiatives that you do, so that they can actually manage those relationships effectively.
I guess it's a lot like any other partnership. The more that you can, the easier you can make the partnership for them, the more success you can have with that relationship.
Yes, that's right. Yeah. And, that's, part of the service offering that we have is to manage that on behalf of the charity so that they can concentrate on the project delivery and doing the good in the community that they do. But for anybody who goes directly, yeah, absolutely. Just be really mindful of how you can do that with as little impact on their time and resources as possible.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you were talking about that business, the naturopath, at the beginning. Mm-hmm. So what kind of businesses do you think should jump into this process? Like, what if they feel like they want to give away, they feel like they want to give back, to the community? What type of businesses work really well with charities?
Look, it really can be for any business. There is no hard and fast rule on how you can actually, give back to the community. It's usually more of a way of finding out how you can do that within your business. So for businesses that maybe have e-commerce platforms, you could do something as really simple as putting a donation at checkout. There are lots of apps that go on to things like Shopify and WooCommerce that you can just add on and have that as an opt-in. It could be that you have a particular service or product that you offer where 100% of the profits go to your selected charity. So there's some really easy ways in different business models that really work. From even just doing a particular day or week, you might have a specific campaign where you donate profits from a certain service that you offer just for the charity and the cause. So, and that's one of the things I love doing is I love brainstorming those ideas of how people can actually do that within their business to actually fundraise for a charity. So really no discrimination.
Great. Well, this happens every time I talk to someone that's got a really interesting topic. Is we run out of time really quickly, so we try to keep this within 20 minutes, and it's just flown past. So if you're listening and you're thinking, God, I want to give back to the community and I want to work with a charity, but I also need it to benefit us as well, because I can't afford to give away too much. But if we can work together, that'd be fantastic. If you're thinking about that, but you're not quite sure where to start, give Kirrily a call. I'll put her details below this video, wherever you're watching, or below or above. So get in touch with Kirrily and find out more. Kirrily, where's the best place to go to find out more?
So I'm happy to provide you a link. I love to do like a half-hour discovery call for free, just to sort of brainstorm a couple of ideas. So do that. And of course, you can always visit us at www.dovetailsocialenterprises.com.au.
Or you could be really clever and use the QR code on the screen.
That's right.
And I'll pop that up somewhere so it'll flash up on the screen. So quickly get your phone out, hit that QR code, and then go and head over to Kirrily's site. Thank you very much for your time, Kirrily.
Thank you so much, Colin. It was really great to be here with you today.
No worries. Talk to you soon.
Bye.